HTC has been in a bit of a no man's land for the past few years. It's tried targeting audiophiles with deals with Beats, camera fanatics with its ultra pixels, and even general smartphone users with its sleek metal designs. Now, the U11 is the culmination of all these efforts and tries to target everybody under the sun. And while it generally delivers on most levels, it feels a little bit like a confused device. HTC is a company that has never shied away from experimenting. It's tried everything from Windows to Facebook phones. But with its latest U11 flagship, I think it has truly jumped the shark, creating the first handset you're meant to squeeze. It calls this EdgeSense. It works using 8 sensors lined across the phone's sides and can detect 2 levels of pressure sensitivity. A short squeeze will open the camera app out of the box, though you can customize it to do pretty much whatever you want. Now, if you're like me, this may sound a little bit weird, especially because the phone is made of glass, not HTC's standard metal. Like the other U series phones, I'm not completely sold on the glass back, which is an outright smudge magnet, and doesn't feel all too well built. On top of that, it also doesn't have a headphone jack, which is a serious annoyance, because otherwise it is an audiophile's dream, being capable of playing 24-bit high-res audio files, which, if you're one of the only Tidal users left, is going to be a great deal. Under the hood, it has all the gubbins you'd expect from a top-end smartphone, being powered by Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 835 CPU and 4GB of memory, which means it can deal with pretty much any task you throw at it, chug and stutter free. A lot of people have been talking about the U11's 12-megapixel rear camera, and if you know what you're doing, it can take great photos. The Doxo rating is pretty accurate, and if you go into manual settings, you can get great low-light shots. But the auto setting isn't there for me. Unlike the Pixel, when you start shooting in low light, shutter lag starts to creep in, and if you don't adjust the settings manually, you get some noise, which is an issue. That said, it is a cut above the HTC 10, which had a terrible tendency to overexpose photos, and 99% of people will be more than happy with this camera phone. The 3000 mAh battery is pretty small for a phone this size, but does surprisingly well, and usually manages to last at least 1 to 1.5 days with regular use. The IPS screen isn't bezel-less like the LG G6 or Galaxy S8, which gives the phone a bit of a retro feel, but it's actually quite nice to use, having suitably deep blacks, though they're not quite on AMOLED level, reasonably clean whites, and nicely calibrated colors that don't look overcooked or undersaturated. Outside of that, I've also got to commend HTC for its software approach. Like past HTC phones, it's removed most bloatware, so you don't get any duplicate apps. There's one music player, one Maps, one email client, and nothing else. HTC's Blink Feed news aggregation service has made a return, which in my mind is no bad thing, as it's a quick and easy way to check the news on the morning commute. I'm a little less enamored with HTC Sense Companion, which is actually the 3rd digital assistant service you get on the U11. The U11 is the first smartphone to have Amazon Alexa directly integrated into its software, or at least it will be when the update comes in July. The fact that Alexa and Assistant are already on the phone makes HTC Sense Companion feel a little bit redundant, and I'm pretty much going to retire it into the same graveyard I left Samsung's Bixby. Overall, the HTC U11 is actually a pretty nice handset. I'm not sure many people will want to squeeze their phone, but the addition of things like high-res audio support will be a big deal for certain niche markets. The camera is also a serious step up in an area HTC has traditionally